Hello world, and welcome to the KerbalCraft server. David is on right now, and he is actually also recording his own episode at the moment. I think he's building his house here, or not. He's off in New Hebrides. So yeah, a little bit of work has been done on the server since the last time we saw it. Obviously David started a little hut over here. Guard built this nice little tavern right here, which I think is pretty cool. And yeah, the roads have been worked on a little bit. And that's that. I have no food on me, so I'm gonna breed and kill some cows and stuff. And then we'll get back to work on the little hotel. There's only 2 cows here. Alright. 2 steaks should last me for the rest of the episode, because I don't feel like 4 steaks. Alright. Let's cook these babies. So yeah, today I'm recording this. It's Tuesday, November 13th. In Australia, just a few hours ago, there was a total solar eclipse. It was only visible in Australia and the rest of the South Pacific. So if you live in America or the Northern Hemisphere like I do, you had no chance of seeing it. But there was a live stream, and it was a beautiful solar eclipse, I have to say. I think the simple fact that we have solar eclipses is pretty awesome. It's very rare if you think about it, not on Earth, but in terms of the universe, it's pretty rare. The fact that Earth's moon appears to be exactly the same size as its sun is a very, very coincidental. Earth actually has the largest moon in relation to its size, if you know what I mean. So I mean, like, how should I say this? I don't know how to say it. For its size, Earth has a big moon, basically. Like, relative to its size, Earth has a big moon. That's all I can really say. Even though Luna isn't the biggest moon in the solar system, it is, Earth is pretty small to have a moon as big as Luna. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think, like, if there was ever, like, some sort of federation of planets, like Star Trek style, Earth would be considered pretty special because we have such a big moon. So yeah, it's not like they have solar eclipses on Mars, or even Jupiter or Neptune or anywhere else. There are no solar eclipses because the moons for those planets aren't big enough to aren't the exact size of the sun, the exact apparent size of the sun, I should say. So they're only transits. They're called transits when that happens. So yeah, that's something special about Earth. You should feel very special if you live on Earth. Just like everyone else that exists. But yeah, in other space news, on the 8th, so that was Thursday, there was a team of scientists announced the discovery of a brand new exoplanet that they think it can possibly contain life. It is in the habitable zone of its parent star. I don't remember which star it is, but I remember the name of the planet is HD 40307. What a catchy name that is. It's about 7 times the mass of the Earth. So it probably has, this is just my guesstimate, it probably has a surface gravity about anywhere between like 2 to 5 times of Earth's surface gravity. So we wouldn't be able to inhabit it, but there's very possibly liquid water on the surface, and where there's liquid water, there is life. So that's pretty exciting. It's about 42 light years away, and again, I don't remember the name of the parent star. But even with our fastest probe, it would take a good couple of 100,000 years for us to get there. So yeah, not in this lifetime or the next, or the next after that, but eventually we'll explore that planet, which is pretty cool. They observed it using something called the Doppler Effect. You see, since planets that are such far away, you can't obviously see the planet directly like you would be able to see a planet in our solar system. So the way they find these planets is actually pretty interesting. What happens is they have how should I explain this? They use something called the Doppler Effect. And the Doppler Effect is something that not many people know about, but everyone experiences it. If you've ever heard a car go by, or a better example would be a siren for a cop car or an ambulance or something, when the ambulance is coming towards you, it's higher pitched than when it's going away from you. So and when it passes you, you hear something called the Doppler Shift. So it'll be like, wee you, as it goes past you. And that's caused by when it's moving towards you, its waves are being crunched together. So it kind of has the waves kind of have a higher frequency than they really do. They appear to have a higher frequency, that is. And when they move past you, the waves are being stretched apart. So it seems to have a lower frequency than it should. The same thing happens with light. So if an object is moving towards you, obviously it has to be moving pretty fast for you to notice it. But when it's moving towards you, it'll seem to be redshifted, right? Am I thinking that right? Do I have that backwards? No, yeah, when it's moving towards you, it'll be redshifted. And when it's moving away from you, it'll be blue shifted. This is the same reason that we found, that we realized that the universe is expanding, which is pretty cool. But the way they use this to find planets is also pretty interesting. You see, a sun and its planet don't orbit. A planet doesn't only orbit around its parent star. The star and the planet actually revolve around their barycenter. And if the planet is large enough, the barycenter might be a little bit away from the center of the star. So, since the star is also revolving around this point, you see it will seem to wobble a bit around its axis, and you'll be able to see this wobble with the Doppler effect. As it's wobbling towards Earth, it'll be redshifted, and when it's wobbling away from Earth, it'll be blue shifted. And by being able to detect the frequency of this wobble and how much it wobbles, scientists are able to guesstimate how big and how fast the planet revolves around the star. So that's how they're able to know that this exoplanet is around 7 times the mass of the Earth, and that's how they know it has an orbital period of around 200 days, which is pretty interesting. Another way they find exoplanets, which wasn't used for in this case, but they also, if the planet's orbit passes directly between the star and the Earth, there will be a slight dip in the brightness of the star, which the scientists can barely measure. But yeah, that only happens. Scientists are only able to measure it if the plane of the planet's orbit is right between the parent star and the Earth. So that's pretty rare. The Doppler effect is usually used more often. So yeah, that's pretty much it for space news. Minecraft is getting an update soon. We're currently in version 1.4.2, and we will be upgraded sometime this week to 1.4.4, which is only going to have a few small updates. One thing that I noticed, which I'm pretty stoked about, is that when you kill a animal like a cow or a pig or a chicken with a fire aspect sword and it dies in one hit, it'll still drop cooked meat, which is something that bugged me a lot. But obviously they fixed it, so I will not have to worry about that anymore. So yeah, that's that for Minecraft. I do believe that obviously the official policy is to never talk about the updates for Kerbal Space Program, but if you've been paying attention, the devs have been putting out a lot of content. They've been talking a lot about what's coming up, and usually they'll only show off the features once they're ready. So obviously they're still testing, but I think I foresee that the 0.18 update will be released pretty soon. It's actually been a pretty fast release cycle, but I think that's because they had been working on the features before 1.17 was even released. And if you don't know about the features that are going to be included, among them is docking, new parts, a ton of new parts, including unmanned capsules and other stuffs for unmanned probes, a flight planning system, and they're also overhauling the staging system. The flight planning seems pretty cool. What's going to happen is you're going to be able to see what a maneuver, you'll be able to plan out a maneuver and see what effect it will have on your orbit. So that's going to be pretty useful for newer players that aren't able to do the science and understand what their maneuvers are really going to do. So that's again just in the process of making this game more open for newer players, which I think is very important. I'm also looking forward to seeing how the new staging system works out. Unfortunately, that does mean I'm going to have to redo all the Kerbal Rocket School episode about staging, but I don't mind. I enjoy making those videos. But yeah, I'm going to have to update that lesson for the 0.18 update, which is okay. I don't mind. So yeah, that's basically it. That's all I have to talk about today. So I think I'm going to sign off for now. That's all for this time, and I will see you out there.